People will never get over that.
Well, no, you won't get over it because what happened with the ball slam?
Happened. Gary, the game happened. The
No!
game happened. The result occurred.
No!
Nebraska basketball had more opportunities to make the tournament after that. Come on. They won the crown, guys. Be happy. Be happy they won the crown. It happened. It happened a couple months ago.
All right, we may have I'm communicating with somebody that is an official that is familiar with something I just said. We may get them in the next segment.
Oh.
But speaking of Nebraska basketball, are you ready?
All right, Triple H.
I got no portal news. I got no portal news.
You ready?
But I don't know how much you are dabbling in the portal. But Nebraska, Creighton, and Omaha have had a good start. Creighton's had an exceptionally good start.
Yes.
Omaha may get some gigantic news today.
Ooh.
Just a little teaser. But we have a date for Nebraska, Creighton basketball.
That's a big deal.
I'm going to need to see the NFL.
Hopefully not on a Friday night again.
You didn't like that Friday night?
No, well, I wasn't in town, so it's more a me thing. I wanted to go.
Friday night.
I was in Akron. I was doing the Omaha.
That's right.
Who were we playing? Alabama State. No, Omaha, Alabama State. Well, that game was going on.
In Akron?
Yeah, we played in the MTE.
Okay.
So I was there, and I had the Nebraska Creighton game on another computer in front of me. Because this is the time of the year before John Rothstein sleeps.
Yes.
He was the first to announce it. Even though all of the contract and scheduling information is available if you make the right
connections.
Yeah. Nebraska Creighton, December 7th. It is a Sunday again, which there are death taxes and Nebraska Creighton playing on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So that is going to happen at PBA.
Will the Chiefs be playing at the same time again in Cincinnati?
Ooh, that happened. That was the Kalkbrenner mono game or COVID game or whatever he had.
That was the last loss of that season for the Chiefs.
I was flying back from Texas. I was on a plane watching that game. Because
your memory recollection is impressive.
Because we had a player who then became in a gots-to-go situation named Lamell Robinson, who's from Kansas City. I asked him on his computer to bring up the Chiefs game, and then I had the Nebraska Creighton game up. So I was watching it. You're right. But so it's back on a Sunday. It's December 7th. I kind of like the Friday.
I like the Friday too.
I did.
I don't need to do anything on a Friday other than sit down and watch Nebraska basketball. And then you get to,
many people have said this.
Like the next day is whether it be in November, it could be a Nebraska football game. If it's in December, it could be, the championship week, whatever it may be, right? Like you get your Friday, Saturday, and then you get your Sunday. I hate it when this game coincides with events like if you're just trying to get like the Nebraska market, if you want as many people to watch the game in Nebraska as you possibly can, you should schedule it on a Friday. You should not schedule it on any other day. But
so we're probably looking at what, like late afternoon again?
I don't know. Like, would they do an 11 a.m. game?
Oh, that would be worse.
Well, from a viewing experience and from like how many people are going to go to the game, it would be a worst case scenario. But from like we want to avoid
just play at the same time as the
NFL
Cowboys.
as well as much as possible. You would play it at 11 a.m., right? Because by the time that game ends, you're in like the halftime of the NFL games going on near it.
Yeah, I mean, all of us will watch because we have a vested interest in it, but I wish they would do this. So here's another idea I have with a dream. This does not include Nebraska having a fall or a spring practice at Omaha North.
Okay.
Quick update from OPS. Speaking of Omaha North,
did they get back to you and you're like, Gary, this is an incredible idea. Would you like to man it for us?
No, it was.
Would you like to be in charge?
Burke Stadium is almost finished. So they shut it down for a year after state track. It's going to be good to go for the Metro Track tournament and then the state. They've made a lot of progress over at Burke.
Named the field after Josh Hudson.
And this week is a big week as they start the planning for the Omaha North Stadium. But I wish they would turn, like you got to, I'm a John Cooker.
Yeah.
I like to dream big.
Who isn't?
I wish they would turn like the Nebraska Creighton showcase game into, and last year the women played at Sokol. They played earlier in the day. Yeah. They're going to draw well. They need to separate those games, not have them on the same day. But I would like to see them make a Nebraska basketball day where around that game you have a high school game, you have a small college game, and then you have the big boys play.
All in Pinnacle Bank Arena?
And all in Pinnacle Bank Arena. Then the next year, you have them play at the Chi.
I think that's a good idea.
High school,
I think it's a good idea.
Small college, and then the Nebraska
And if
Creighton
you
game.
now, once again, I think this event depends on how much do you want to invest on the outside stuff of it too, because you can't. Well, you can make put tents up and have a little, maybe you put a 3-on-3 tournament in the rail yard and maybe you're calling it Nebraska Basketball Day.
It's December.
Oh, that is a good point. Yeah. I don't really think of weather as much as I should. Yeah, just put them in and have them play. I don't.
Put
seriously,
that on
man.
the board.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason why I show up every day in a light hoodie and sweatpants.
Now,
I dress for every weather.
I got to dream big, and I'm thinking about the awkwardness of the portal, where guys that you told to, you said mean things about their mom because they were on the opposing team, all of a sudden are on your team, and you're sitting next to their mom. So it gets kind of awkward. That's what the portal is. But think about the Nebraska Creighton game next year and the 3 Hawkeyes that'll be playing against each other.
Yeah.
Because we used to hate all 3. I like Josh Dix because he's a local guy. But we used to hate all 3.
And now it's now you hate 2 of them even more, and you love one of them who's going to have to be a big deal in that game.
But does let's say, and they have a history of going into Pinnacle Bank Arena and winning. If Creighton comes into PBA in December and wins the game, what if in the college basketball world of planting a flag?
Oh no.
They do something where Omaha is located on the map, or
they put a little star, like you're saying that you put a little blue jay on the state outline. Is that what you want them to do? That would cause a war.
Creighton comes on the floor after the game, after they win, and they surround where Omaha is, Douglas County, right on the floor. Or how about this?
I don't think any blue jays.
How about this? How about this from the Nebraska perspective? Okay, Sanford, he hits a shot.
Okay,
and he stomps on where Omaha is.
Okay, that would be like the greatest celebration.
Can you imagine Bishop's reaction to that?
Now that would once again, wars have started for less. Okay, I mean there already is.
He might get up and yell at KP.
And animosity amongst Creighton basketball fans and Nebraska basketball fans if that were to occur, and also to the disrespect. They have no class over there. The sportsmanship. What a terrible athletic department. What a terrible organization. Then they root for football the next day. Mm-hmm. They're like, well, the football team's got class, except if you ask about Iowa. But I think Owen Freeman, if he were to go to Pinnacle Bank Arena and drop 45 points and become the most hated player in Nebraska basketball history in some recent memory, that'd be pretty good for the brand. Pretty good for that rivalry.
But you guys see the dynamics of the portal? For example, a guy like Kendall Blue. So he has played against Omaha for the last couple of years, and I wish nothing but the worst of Kendall Blue. Okay,
that's how I feel about Kawhi Leonard.
And he pulled an act 2 years ago up there after making a shot that I thought, there's a guy that deserves a throat punch. Now, I did not say that on the air. Now, all of a sudden, he's playing in Nebraska.
Well, this is the reality you're going to have to deal with, okay? This is what we've been dealing with in pro sports forever, okay?
But in college now, the oddness of 3 Hawkeyes are going to be playing
at
Creighton and Nebraska is, you're right. A Freeman has a chance to really become one of the most hated opposing Nebraska players of all time.
That's what this brings. But that's we've seen this in baseball too, right? Isn't there that one guy that always beats your team? They always hit bombs against your team, whether or not they play for this team or whether or not they play for that team.
Calixto, who played at Creighton last year, all of a sudden comes back and you're like, hey man, I like that guy. Whoa. I don't know what to say.
You're like,
sounds like Robert Horry to me.
You're like, no matter what jersey Paul Goldschmidt is wearing, he is coming into Wrigley and he's going to hit 2 bombs, whether you like it or not. And you're like, I cannot stand this guy. This is what college football, this is what your college sports in general. If you're a college sports fan, you're going to have to get used to it, right? What happens when I hate Robert Tonyan for 4 years and all that guy does is kill me in the red zone. And then all of a sudden he's on my team. And now I'm calling him Bobby touchdowns.
Can you imagine in today's portal era, if Brad Davison or Aaron Kraft transferred to your school, you've hated them in the Big Ten. You've hated them with a passion.
Can I tell you something right now?
Or Grant Gibbs Like what if Grant Gibbs would have transferred to Nebraska?
Well,
you hate Grant Gibbs, and all of a sudden he's on your team, and you're like, oh, I love you.
Can you imagine if like Boo Buie went anywhere in the Big Ten? Be like, this guy's killed us. If Max Klesmit transferred to Nebraska, I don't know what I would do.
But is he hated?
I hate him. Hate's a strong word. I very much dislike.
So you'd be a one-man hate party.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Okay.